Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of r/Entitled Parents. In today's episode, no mom, dad, younger brother, and aunt'll keep on doing my little tradition. Can't she braid your hair please? It would keep her quiet. AITA for not telling my father and stepmother about my son's birth? Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. No mom, dad, younger brother, and aunt'll keep on doing my little tradition. I, 27F, had an older brother, 25M, who died in 2014. He was the older brother any girl wanted, and we were close. He taught me valuable lessons in life, such as cooking, driving, and never giving up, showed me anime manga, would go on little road trips, and we would flat out ignored our parents' favoritism with my younger brother. Sadly, he died when a shooting happened. He was not a criminal, he was only eating, and it happened, and there was an investigation, and police found he was not involved in any illegal activity, and one of the bullets killed him instantly. He was only 25 and I was 19 in 2014. I would lie if I said that I didn't fall into a deep depression. It came to the point where I stopped eating and lost around 55 pounds in a month and a half after his passing. I only drank water and milk that would fill me up. I didn't want to get better, until one day my former sister-in-law called me to tell me that he left me some things. I met up with her and the stuff he left behind was an album with Polaroid pictures of our crazy adventures, graphic anime tees and a chain with both of our initials. I was in tears and decided to get help because he would love to see me happy, and not die of sadness. It's been years since his passing and I am doing a lot better, and I have a tradition that on his birthday that I would leave flowers in his grave. I only stay 2 minutes, then leave after singing him happy birthday. My therapist said this was a good idea. However, my parents, 50M and 59F, younger brother, 22M, and aunt, 52F, decided to have an intervention, thinking religiously that I was doing something satanic, that I was calling out the dead, that they should have thrown the things he left me in the garbage, and that I should attend to their church to see if the Lord gets those diabolical ideas out of your head. I was shocked and told them that I won't stop doing this tradition and I won't be attending their church, that this is their older son, and that if they keep behaving like this, I won't feel bad at all for having to go and see with them. They kept on yelling at me, and my aunt went as far as to throw holy water at me. I had it and told them that when they stop being religious nuts we'll talk, but as of today, I want nothing to do with them. I left before any of them could say anything. It's been a week since the incident, and I have blocked their numbers. I just saved myself from toxic family members and I won't go back there ever again. Good for you. Honoring somebody who has passed isn't satanic and is actually a vital part of most religions around the world, including Christianity, so they can go take their twisted beliefs and go sweep a fence. I told them this and they didn't listen. They've never heard of Dia de los Muertos? I love building my ofrendas to honor my loved ones every year. I think something like would bring OP comfort. They are the ones who need mental help, not you. Your tradition is very sweet and perfectly sane. Keep it up. Thank you, and I will yellow heart. Sorry for your loss. Good for you. And be sure to make copies and or at least photos/videos of these priceless objects in case these mentally challenged religious zealots destroy them. Can't she braid your hair please? It would keep her quiet. So I have extremely long hair. It reaches my knees when it's down and I take extremely good care of it and spend a lot of time, energy, and money keeping it healthy and in great condition. So it's obviously pretty important to me, and even without talking to me it's obvious that I'm quite protective of it. Usually when I leave home I put it up in a bun or some other protective style, but today I thought it looked really good and decided to leave it down for once. Me and my husband went to a local cafe for breakfast, and as we were seated I saw across from us was a mother and her clearly very excitable young daughter. This is fine obviously, they're just trying to enjoy their morning like I am, and I don't really pay much attention to them until I hear the girl say to her mother, "Mommy, that lady's hair is so long. Can I play with it?" I think this is a weird request, but don't really expect anything else to come of it until I hear the mother trying to get my attention. I turn to her and she asks me the title of this post. I say no. I'm not really comfortable with that. The girl immediately looks heartbroken and her mom sighs and just looks tired, then she says why not? It's just hair, let her play with it. I give her my reasons, I don't like people touching me, I don't let people touch my hair, and there's still a pandemic going on and I'd rather not get too close to strangers unless I absolutely have to. My husband even chimes in with she doesn't even like me touching her hair very often. Which was a lie, he's like one of the only people who I'm comfortable with, but he was trying to help me get out of the conversation because he's a sweetheart. The girl kind of looks at her mother with a pleading look, but her mom just looks at her and says, "The mean lady won't let you." And shoots me a look of daggers. Like what, dude? What did I do? Would you let strangers touch your hair, lady? I get that she's tired, but I'm not in the wrong for keeping my boundaries in order. A slight annoyance, but luckily they were already most of the way through their meal by the time we arrived, so they weren't there for too long. Still a weird situation that made me overall uncomfortable. Oof, that lady just taught her kid a horrible lesson about consent. Yeah, making me out to be mean for saying no is just gonna give that girl issues as time goes on. Pandemic or not, I would feel really weird and or uncomfortable if a random kid wants to mess with my hair, have long hair as well, but I usually wear a ponytail or braids. Just the though of potentially very dirty hands going through your hair, no thanks. Nice that your husband chimed in. You don't even know if the child's hands were even clean since you said they were well into their meal. EW. AITA for not telling my father and stepmother about my son's birth? My 26F father, 59M, has been dating Paula, 38F, for 4 years. I never got to know her well, as I was about to move out when we met. My sister, 20F, still lives between our parents and likes Paula, but finds her annoying. Paula has an odd attitude towards pregnancy. It became the most obvious when my cousin announced she was expecting back in 2021. Her daughter would be the first great-grandchild. We hadn't been sure my grandma would be around for that. And after an emotional announcement in which everyone was overjoyed, Paula commented that she felt it wasn't a big deal and didn't get what all the fuss was about. She kept that stance for all 9 months. But once the baby was born, Paula suddenly became a bit too interested in her, which my cousin was clearly uncomfortable with. My husband, 28M, and I announced our pregnancy earlier this year. At first, my father was over the moon. Since this is his first grandchild, I believe that would last. But as I heard from my sister, Paula was just as condescending as we expected, if not more. Whenever I announced anything about my pregnancy or baby, sex, first kicks, ultrasound pictures, etc., Paula always reacted with one of 3 phrases: "Okay, that's not that big a deal," or "Is that all she talks about these days?" I didn't care about it at first. But after a few weeks, I started to notice my father was also losing any interest he had in my pregnancy. As the months went by, he became increasingly detached and standoffish. He started to either ignore or not pay attention to most of the updates I made on my baby. He also didn't come to our name reveal. We did that instead of a gender reveal. It was literally just a lunch party with a game we made up, or the baby shower because, and I quote, "Paula doesn't think it's worth it." My son was born on Halloween, and I decided not to tell my father and Paula. After almost 9 months of excuses and disinterest, I didn't see any reason to. I was in the hospital for 4 days, during which only mine and my husband's closest friends and family visited us. The day before we left, I posted a picture of my son on Instagram, and that's when my father found out. He called to ask why I hadn't told him and Paula or invited them to meet my baby. I didn't lie, they didn't make any efforts to get involved, both emotionally and physically, during my pregnancy, so they'd have to wait for baby news like everybody else. My father and Paula are furious, accusing me of using my son as a pawn and keeping them away out of pettiness. They're saying I'm holding the fact that they missed a few dumb parties against them. My husband and pretty much my whole family agrees with me. My sister, while mostly on my side, still thinks I should have told my father, since this is his first grandchild and he had to find out he was born through social media. She thinks this is all Paula's fault and I should apologize to our dad. Aita? Info: has Paula ever been pregnant/had kids herself? Her disinterest in pregnancy details and then being super into your cousin's baby once they were born seems to me like it's her being jealous that she never went through that. No, but from what I gather, she doesn't want to. NTA: your dad made a choice, and that choice was to care more about Paula's feelings than yours. Exactly this. Does he not have his own brain? He couldn't go to his grandchild's naming party because Paula didn't think it was worth it? She's perfectly allowed to think that and not attend. However, if the grandfather of the child wanted to be there, he could and should have said to his wifey, "Have a great afternoon. I will see you after the naming party." NTA. All of the ESH replies are dumb as hell. Paula has your dad twirled around her finger. The only 2 in-person baby events that you had, they didn't show up, and your dad was standoffish for the majority of your pregnancy due to Paula. He is a grown-ass man. He doesn't get to all of a sudden meet and be involved in his first grandchild's life when he barely cared before. Guaranteed he only wanted to come to the hospital for photos and to post on social media and show off. Apologizing to your dad will not do anything, but only enable his BS. He needs to step up, put his foot down to Paula, and show you that he genuinely and actively wants to be a part of your immediate family's life. Your dad can be updated via social media until he gets his face out of his behind and acts like an actual father. NTA. But I think you need to have a conversation with your dad. You need to let him know he will inevitably miss out on a lot more if he continues to mirror Paula's indifference in shared family milestones. It is not everyone else's responsibility to compensate. If he intends to have a relationship with his grandchildren, and also have relationships with other relatives, he needs to be willing to do his part as well and express interest and participate. And no, it isn't about showing up to parties. It is about making the effort to be included when you are invited to be and not dismiss those invitations as if they are meaningless. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next video.